Donna and I are heading to Europe on what is probably going to be the most epic trip we've ever done. We'll be visiting 13 cities across 10 countries over 28 days. We have to pack all the gear that we have and all the gear that we need for this 28-day shoot in these 2 bags. And I thought it would be a fun idea to talk about what's in our camera bags in 2020. Let's go. We usually pack all of our gear into these 2 bags in such a way that we don't have to take both bags out when we go out and shoot. All of our essential gear is packed into 1 bag, and then the accessories and the other things that we might not use as often go into the 2nd bag. Let's start with the camera body. Donna and I both have the Sony a7 III, and it's such a great camera. We used to use the Canon 5D Mark IIIs and they just weren't working for us anymore. And it's so important to pick a camera body based on your needs. So we swapped over to the Sony a7 III, and specifically the a7 III, for its low light capabilities, the ability to shoot 4K video, and the ability to shoot 120 frames per second at 1080p, amongst other things. So I can't recommend the Sony a7 III enough. Next up, lenses. We used to adapt a bunch of Canon lenses using the Sigma MC11 adapter, and I made a video on that if that's something that you're interested in, so I'll put a link down in the description below. We sold our Canon lenses and we moved over to Tamron lenses so that we could take advantage of Sony's autofocus when shooting video, which is something we couldn't do with the MC11 adapter. The first lens in our bag is the super popular Tamron 28-75mm f2.8 lens. It's light, it has a fixed f2.8 aperture and a decent zoom range for being able to shoot kind of wide but also to zoom in to shoot the details. The second lens in our bag is the Tamron 17-28mm f2.8 lens. It's very similar to the 28-75mm lens, but obviously it's a lot wider, so it's really good for landscape shots, some cityscape shots, vlogging, and some general travel use as well. These are the only 2 lenses that we'll be using on this entire trip to Europe, and we'll be creating a lot of content while we're there, so please subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, and make sure that you don't miss out on any of that content. Next up is the microphone. We use the Rode VideoMic Pro, which I'm currently using right now to record this video, and it's an absolute must if you're vlogging or even if you just want to get good quality audio for your B-roll. There is a newer version, the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, which seems to be quite an upgrade. Let's talk about tripods. We have 2 big Manfrotto tripods that we use for commercial work for clients, but they're far too big to take with us when we travel. So instead, we use GorillaPods. They're small, they're lightweight, you can put them just about anywhere, so they're really great for traveling. Next up is filters. We've got a bunch of filters that we use. So the first one is a circular polarizer filter, and we use that to cut out reflections and make the clouds in the sky pop a little more. We also have a few ND filters, which we use to cut out light. And one of the reasons we like having the ND filter is so that we can slow down the camera's shutter speed. It allows us to create photos with a bit of blurred motion in it. And then we also have a step-up ring, which we use to adapt the 77mm threads that we originally got because of our Canon lenses onto the 67mm thread of the Tamron lenses. So a nice handy little tip is get the biggest filter size you can get a step-up ring, and then you can kind of put your biggest filters on any of your lenses instead of having to buy new filters all the time. Next up, we have a gimbal. We switched to the DJI Ronin S after using the DJI Ronin M because it's a much smaller gimbal and it's got a lot of great features that you won't find on the M. So we're super excited to give this bad boy a try in Europe. Let's talk about drones. DJI's Mavic Mini is the perfect travel drone. It's light, it's tiny, and it shoots 2.7K video. Unfortunately, it doesn't shoot raw images, but if you expose correctly and you shoot at the right time of the day, you can still get some pretty great results. So I'm excited to see what we can get with this little guy in Europe. We always have our GoPro with us wherever we travel. It's super easy to get great quality shots quickly. We use it to get unique angles or to get quick time lapses or hyperlapses, and it's also really useful if you have to quickly whip out a camera to get a few shots in a rush. So this is always in our bag no matter where we are. Next up is the GoPro Gimbal. The GoPro Hero 7 already shoots really stable footage, and the GoPro does a good job of smoothing out any shakes. But there are times when a gimbal just takes that footage to the next level. So we always take our Tech gimbal for GoPro with us, and it actually makes a really big difference when shooting hyperlapses on the GoPro. So I made a comparison video about shooting hyperlapses on the GoPro with and without a gimbal, which you can check out over here, and I'll also put a link in the description below. Next up is GoPro Accessories. We'll always take a few essential GoPro accessories with us. One of the ones that we always take is a suction cup. It's really great to stick on the window at the hotel or on a train or on the plane, so that's super handy. Another thing we like to take is a handle. It's always good to have something that you can grip the GoPro with. And this new one that we've got is quite cool because it breaks out into a little tripod, which will be pretty handy. Then if we have space, we'll take some other accessories, like maybe like a chesty mount or something like that for some cool POV shots. We make sure to always have extra memory cards and batteries with us. So we've got these great little pouches which we use to put our SD cards and micro SD cards in. I love these little pouches because they keep the memory cards organized and protected. So these are really, really great to have. The other thing we like to do is have a bunch of extra batteries. With the original Sony battery and a couple of Wasabi third-party batteries, we've got about 3 batteries each for these kind of travel shoots, which is more than enough for us. The last piece of gear that we have in our bags is a laptop. So we've both got MacBook Pros. This is the 16-inch, Donna's got the 15-inch, and we use this to do a little bit of editing work while we're away, and also we've got a hard drive that we use to back up our footage and our images while we travel. Possibly the most important part of this whole video is the camera bag itself. We use the Lowepro 450 AW Mark II bag, and we're able to fit all of this gear into 2 of them. And that's it, guys. That is what we have in our camera bags in 2020. We'll be shooting for the next month or so in Europe, and we'll have loads of new content for the channel from the trip. So if you enjoy travel, if you enjoy filmmaking, if you enjoy photography related content, then please subscribe to the channel. We would absolutely love for you to be a part of the channel and to join along on our journey on this channel. So hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post new videos. Follow us on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.